People say that you're born with your personality. You cannot change anything about it and need to deal with it for the rest of your life. But in my opinion, your brain is much more capable of what you think it can. How can people run marathons and do Ironmans? Because they are born with it, or because they have trained their brains and are fully aware of how their body and mind reacts to these extremes? That's what I think is similar to your brain and your personality as well, which you can influence and train. In today's video, I will do a reflection of my life with the big 5 personality traits and want to engage your brain in it as well. I will put the test in the comment sections down below and you can do it yourself. Let me know as well what your personality traits are and what you think about yourself before you do the test. Everyone has confronted the big 5 personality traits. The question is, how do they follow your life? What do you do with the personality traits? And that's what I want to do in today's video, where I want to analyze how I evolved through these things. And this is a very personal opinion here, what I think, the journey I have gone through, and I want to engage your brain as well, how, in what way these personality traits affect you. So, extraversion. If I look back 3 years ago, I was a very introverted person who I wouldn't have spoken in front of that camera here and never had the courage to take that first step and talk up to people. And if I take the environment of the gym, for example, where I know most people there and say hi to everyone and talk to them and talk with them, while at the beginning, the first year, I didn't talk to anyone there. And that's the same with my working environment, because I was working before in the tax declaration department. I didn't have the opportunity as well to develop these skills. And now that I'm moving towards client advisor, doing my trainee there, I'll see myself evolving in there. So I definitely changed from a kind of introverted person into an extroverted one. So if we go to emotional stability, it is the same process there, not in the past 2 years that started when the corona pandemic hit us the first time and we had that major and big lockdown. I started to read personal development books. I saw how my brain functions and in general just how human brain functions, and I saw patterns where I got frustrated, angry, not confronting the things I wanted to, and also feeling not emotionally capable of dealing with all these things. I also try to regulate stress, I meditate, I calm my body down, and I think that developed itself in the past 2 years, where I could really engage my brain into understanding and also regulate these emotions, which doesn't mean I suppress them, but that means just understanding why these emotions happen. And I know there is a lot of theory and people saying that's not real, that can't happen, that's not true, but I think it helped me and worked for me. So you need to engage yourself into thinking if it changed your life in any aspect or how you evolve through it. Agreeableness. A point where I'm working on at the moment, because I used to be that person who just says yes to everything, and nowadays I try to say no as well. Think about these topics and also at work critically of new things, and try to get inputs in there and change things up, rather than just saying, yeah, it's fine, it works out for me. I guess I'm still not in that phase where I think about everything critically and always say something, but definitely up to some point that I want to bring in my ideas and say, I don't think that will work out. Maybe we need to try about or think about other alternatives as well and scenarios, and that's what I try to think there as well. engage myself in there, but probably that's also because I'm in my beginning phase of my working career. I can't just throw everything in there and just expect that everything is also picked up from the people or my supervisors as well. So definitely a phase where I try to evolve and learn more, but as I said in the beginning of this video, I want to engage people into thinking of their weaknesses and try to develop also strengths out of it, like work on the weaknesses. And definitely something is that I face uncomfortable situations now. Like I feel comfortable facing uncomfortable situations. Then we come to consciousness, which is probably the personality trait which hasn't changed since, I don't know, 5-6 years. So I took that from my teen years already. Like organizing, I love organizing, planning out things. That's where I'm home, I guess. One thing I realized is just the amount of time I spent on social media, on like Netflix, and just dealing with things which don't really matter for myself. I'll link up a video of my dopamine detox break, which I just did a few days ago, and that helped me to engage my brain as well. And consciousness is something, I think it's not just about punctuality, order and everything. It goes even further, that you realize how you manage your time as well, and that's what I think evolved as well in the past 2 years with this pandemic, that I see that I'm following really the passions I have, not just distracting myself in there. And last but also not least is openness. In the test it is called a bit different, but I call it openness because I think this is the most important personality trait. If you have a perspective where you're like, all like, get back, I don't want to deal with this, I just go with the flow, I don't take any responsibility for it, I just do my job and then that's it, and not be open about new things, the chances are not very high that you like evolve through different phases and think more critically, see opportunities and chances. And I think if you're open to all these things, then you will start something which you didn't expect, and maybe it can have a takeoff as well. And I think if you're not open about all aspects which happen in your life, then you're maybe missing out on many opportunities. And that's what I think, that openness plays a major role on your success, but also on your general happiness in your life. So this was a very short reflection of my personality traits and how I evolved through it. And as you have realized, I did evolve through all of these personality traits, maybe not in the same aspect, but definitely up to some point. And my goal is to like engage your brain into thinking more, and let me know in the comment section down below how your thinking process went through. And also hit that subscribe button if you want to get inspired and always want your brain to be like get into thinking mode. And if you're currently an overthinker, check out my video about overthinking, which I will link right afterwards, and I will see you guys there.